If you're the type of person that likes to do a forehand inside out shot, you need to back it up with a good running forehand cross court. And why is that? Well, someone smart, right? They see you hitting these inside out forehands a lot. They're going to try to go up the line a little bit more. You'll be forced to go over here a lot so that this person, your opponent, can try to open up the backhand side. And so this area here for your forehand should be pretty good as well, driving that ball cross court. And if your running forehand cross court is not something that is good or deadly, then they're going to keep attacking this side, leaving your area, your backhand here, extremely vulnerable. And why do I mention players with inside-out forehands needing running forehands? Well, if you have a inside-out forehand and you've played this side a lot here, trying to cover your backhand using your forehand, well, you're leaving this with an open space, right? And so you need that running forehand, particularly that running forehand cross court. Players who don't play that way, right? They basically hit a backhand cross court from here. They're usually stationed here, so they could cover this without really a running forehand. Obviously, everybody needs a running forehand, but it's not particularly vital for them. Players who have good inside-out forehands that play on this side a lot, just covering their backhand side with the forehand, they're going to need that running forehand cross court to be very, very good. Now, if you're going to copy a running forehand, I would copy Pete Sampras's running forehand, particularly his running forehand cross court, where he did it almost reverse style every time. And so I remember these matches against Andre Agassi. Agassi would hit something super hard to Pete Sampras's forehand. Pete Sampras would leave this wide open sometimes, and Agassi would hit this very hard forehand. He has a great forehand as well, but he would hit it there, right? And Pete Sampras would just counter with something crazy hard, cross court, and that would usually end a point. And I remember these matches against Andre Agassi. I was more of an Agassi fan. I was hoping that he wouldn't go there too much, but it's very inviting when you see this open space here and you want to just hammer it. You think you could get it, but Pete Sampras covered that very well, or maybe even baited Andre Agassi to hitting that shot there. And Pete Sampras would hit this very, very good, very hard running forehand cross court. Now, there's three things that I want you to look for in regards to the running forehand. And one is if you see a ball just floating up the line here, right? Coming up the line, maybe your opponent has hit a forehand inside in or a backhand down the line here, and they're stationed right here. They're stationed up the line here. This would be a good opportunity to bust a running forehand cross court. Also, notice how I do my running forehand. It's usually reverse style, meaning it's a reverse forehand where the follow through goes over my head. So just check out my racket here. It goes over my head and it comes back on the same side, on my right side. This will give you a lot more top spin and a lot more angle. It's just a very good and natural way of doing a running forehand cross court. And Pete Sampras did this. Pete Sampras did the reverse forehands. He may not have gone over the head completely like this, but he went over the side of his head. And he really originated the reverse forehand, I believe, as a weapon. Also, you need to make sure on the running forehand, you run through it. You don't stop and hit the forehand. You run through the ball. So check out what I do with my feet here. And as I plant here, I plant or push off with my right foot, I will then hit the ball. So I hit the ball here, then land with my left foot. And I call this PHL, push, hit, then land. Push off with your right foot, hit the ball, then land with that left foot. And also notice that I keep running a little bit, so I take another step and another step. And that helps with the weight transfer. Push, hit, land, and then run through it a little bit. If you see this ball, though, if you think that your opponent can get it, then you definitely have to recover back. But on this particular point, I knew that was going to be for a winner here, so I didn't need to recover back. And so, you just need to run through those running forehands. Just make sure you don't stop and hit it, or else you're going to be a little awkward hitting those forehands. So if you're a player that likes to do a lot of inside-out forehands there, make sure to back it up with a good running forehand cross court. Get some inspiration from some pros like Pete Sampras with his running forehands, and make your opponents think about going up the line against you. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.